Welcome back to another week of Stocks in Review for the upcoming week. I wanted to thank those of you who posted questions and provided comments on what I've been doing here. Your thoughtful questions are appreciated, and I hope my detailed responses help. Before we look at the stocks that I believe will go up for the final full week of May, I always like to highlight some of the economic and related news items that could probably affect us in the coming week. Unless you've been homesick with the flu and your electric was out as well all week, you probably know that the drama in Washington came to a head on Wednesday and caused havoc on the markets. Talks of special prosecutors, impeaching the president, another warship being sent to the Korean Peninsula, and this time a successful missile launch by North Korea doesn't help. The market does not like this uncertainty, and it really showed up this week with the largest single drop since last September. On watch this week, we have Northern Dynasty Minerals again, ticker symbol NAK. I was particularly impressed with how well the stock held up since all the action last week, and it basically traded in a narrow range from a low of $167 a share up to a high of $188, ending the week midway at $177. The big news that wasn't really even big news for the week was the establishment of an advisory committee. This is a pretty standard thing for a project like this. A lot of naysayers said that the stock would drop to below 140 a share, but the NAK bulls wouldn't have it. Volume has been impressive all week, ranging from 2.6 to 11.6 million shares each day. When you least expect it, an announcement or a leak could point to a prospective partner, and then watch this jump. I have Sprint and T-Mobile both on watch this week as well. While Sprint's high for the week has only been 24 cents above the previous Friday's close, the volume here has been quite impressive, ranging from a low of 15 million last Tuesday to a high of over 33 million on Thursday. I think as long as we don't have any huge issues come up next week, Sprint should close close to $9 sooner than later. Goldman Sachs added T-Mobile, ticker symbol TMUS, to its conviction list and raised its price target nearly 10%. T-Mobile has a lot of free cash flow. This will allow it to buy back some of its own shares, which was the major impetus for the bump. Not the merger talks as most people would think. The stock is barely $2 away from its one-year high, which it touched barely 3 months ago. Watch for more upside this coming week. This week, we look at Pandora, ticker symbol P. I think this will make for a good day trade next week, and if you can't exit soon enough, I'm relatively confident that you'd be fine based on a review of the charts. For what it's worth, the stock is within about 8% of its low, which occurred in late 2012, when it hit about $8.50 a share. And then again, the next lowest was 14 months ago in March of 2016, when it hit a low of $8.95. It appears that nearly 70% of the time the stock reaches its highs for the day are between 10 a.m. and 12:30, so power hour isn't quite as meaningful when it comes to this stock. Next we look at Apple, ticker symbol AAPL. With the midweek sell-off, I think if you can enter next week below $152.54, you should stand to make at least $2 to $3 a share by the end of the week. And this is a great long-term stock as well. In June, Apple will unveil a brand new MacBook, and historically speaking, you'll usually get a bump from something like that. If you're not a long-term investor, it probably makes sense to sell after the increase is realized, because there's always the chance that if there are glitches with the product, that adverse reactions will result in a drop in the stock. There's a lot of positive buy ratings on Apple stock as well. So with all of this taken into consideration, I would definitely feel comfortable holding it at least up until the introduction of the iPhone 8. Next we have Twitter, ticker symbol TWTR. The stock has been holding well above the $18.15 level of support. I'm definitely not a fan of this stock long term, but based on the technicals here, I feel that we'll see $19 or more by the end of the month or beginning of June. There has been some very recent management changes here which have investors a bit concerned. But if you can buy close to the levels of support I just mentioned, and if it holds through the week, you should be able to walk away with at least a 4% upside. Finally, we look at Netflix, ticker symbol NFLX. Next Friday, a lot of options expire, so that always makes for an interesting week. A lot of money has been flowing into the big tech stocks. The charts are showing numbers just north of $167 a share before the end of June. Netflix has great fundamentals, and whether you swing this or hold longer term, you can't go wrong here. Be sure you do your own research and never invest money that you can't afford to lose. The stock market is risky. Have a great week, and we'll see you next Friday. We appreciate if you could like our videos and click subscribe.